the ACTs, and the AP exams. Will students who aren't college and career ready, quote unquote, by these standards be allowed to attend college or obtain a job in the future? Common Core is said to be state-led, but that's nonsense. Which state legislature authorized Common Core? Common Core has no authority from the states to establish a uniform set of standards. Most state legislators barely understand what Common Core is. If it were state-led, we'd own it. However, we don't. It's owned and trademarked by two private trade organizations that parents cannot influence. That's called education without representation. If parents find Common Core objectionable, there's no way to change this national curriculum. Schools can add 15% to the content of Common Core, but why would they? Teachers and principals will be evaluated based on the students' scores and at a factor of 20% or more. So why would they risk their job by being creative? When students fail, teachers and principals can be removed. Remediation begins. School boards become irrelevant. Public schools can be transformed to privately run, but taxpayer-funded charter schools. Does this raise concern about the future of existing charter schools? The goal is to eradicate the local school district and nationalize education. How successful has that been in Germany, Cuba, Russia? Read any history? The goal is to transform students into global citizens and activists for social justice. Look at the sample lesson plans. Students will be evaluated not only on the basis of their knowledge and skills, but on their dispositions and behavior. Assessments will be essay-driven and robo-graded. It's far more expensive to grade exams that aren't multiple choice. But no one is doing a fiscal analysis of the cost of this new program. The Department of Ed in New Hampshire gave legislators a talk this year and said it was going to cost 3 times what it costs for a regular curriculum under Common Core. And that doesn't include the new technology, the teacher retraining, and the national assessments and grading costs. We're in a recession, aren't we? Where does this money come from? If we only forego this federal funding, we might make education sustainable, to use one of those terms. Common Core was adopted by 4 unelected Board of Education members in 2010. The standards weren't fully written. The assessments weren't fully written. In addition to the curriculum and testing, there's a longitudinal school-to-work database tracking every student with 400 data points, covering grades, discipline, medical information, and this information follows the students forever. It can be shared with the federal government, sold by district, for anyone that's doing educational research and exchange without parental consent. Your district short of money lately? Much of the funding for Common Core comes from billionaires and corporations like Bill Gates and the Pearson Publishing Company, who stand to profit from the implementation. The public is being bought and paid for by corporations, and the federal government is bypassing local scrutiny of the taxpayer. So what is the solution? Is there any hope? Parents across the country are networking together to stop Common Core. Much like we did for homeschooling in the 1990s, we stopped bad regulation and we turned it around. It took 20 years, but we did it. We don't have that time this time, but we have state and nationwide groups online, on Facebook and elsewhere, and we're working together to flip this. The chairman of the Board of Education recently told a group of parents and legislators that the train has already left the station on Common Core. One feisty legislator stood up and said that we, the people of New Hampshire, are the train, and that we will work to return this train to that station. Common Core is flawed, untested, and mediocre. It's unconstitutional. Parents need only fight through the hype and hyperbole. We're having a talk on September 17th at St. Anselm's. You're all welcome to get more information at our table, and you're all invited. Thank you.